We have documented proof that Joy Behar touches Chris Christy 3 times. And that's why I'm bringing it to you to punish you as Chris Christy joins The View.
And his numbers only continue to climb no matter what he does and what anybody says. So why isn't your messaging and ours getting through to the vast Americans?
So first, huge victory. Even Joy is saying, Chris Christy, your message didn't get out. And The View, which is a major, huge rated ABC broadcast, our message didn't get out. It didn't work. Now, if you're Chris Christy, your heart is having a heart attack right now.
It's voted yet.
The polls.
Yeah, I get the polls. And if the polls were right, Hillary Clinton would be in her second term. Yeah. Right? I mean, so polls these days, I think, are even more problematic because, who wants to answer a pollster?
Here, he basically comes with the conclusion of all people that are losing polls go, you can't trust polls. You only trust polls when you're ahead. That's a fact. But he's doubling down, basically admitting that he's a liar and that people are lying when they answer polls.
Right. So I think the very opposite thing is happening in Republicans right now. The same way it wasn't politically correct in 2016 to say you were for Trump and against Hillary.
Yeah.
It's not politically correct inside the Republican Party right now to say you're against Trump.
I just want to extrapolate that real quick because put the rest of this quote into context. Remember that you also can't be for Trump and be sitting here with The View and sitting there in peace. There'll be peer pressure against you to like Trump.
And so I had a woman in New Hampshire. I was walking out of a restaurant.
Yeah, you were.
And she grabbed me by the arm and she said, keep going after Trump. Keep going after him. And I said, okay, but why are you whispering? And she said, because my friends don't like to hear that.
It's the same way that a pan full of hot dogs doesn't like to hear that Chris Christy is walking into the room.
But I don't know until people start to vote whether we're really going to know what people think.
We're still hopeful. We're hopeful.
Well, I think we should be because, quite frankly, for the country's sake, and that's the biggest reason I got in the race was, as you'll remember, I had a very comfortable spot here at ABC, and I didn't need to leave there and do this.
You had a great job at ABC, but you gave it up. Is this the face of a guy who looks self-sacrificing for others?
As I looked at the way the race was coming together and the field came together, my sense was no one was going to tell the truth about him in our party who was running for president. Right. And then I go to the first debate, and it turns out I was right. Because all of them raised their hand and said they'd support him if he was a convicted felon.
Guilty. I'd support Trump if he was a convicted felon because the convictions we know are not true. They're lies and they're meaningless.
They also said that they would pardon him.
Yeah, well,
if they became president. Nikki Haley and DeSantis both said that.
Yeah.
If you became
number 1.
Became president.
No.
That's number 2.
Would you pardon him?
Number 3. What's wrong with these people? Something is going on between Chris Christy and Joy Behar. And I'm just going to leave that pleasant thought with you.
No.
Leave a comment below if you think Chris Christy should just unhinge his jaw and swallow Joy Behar whole right now. I'm Doug in Exile.